Hello, I'm Hansi Parchment. You're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.
I think the uniqueness of the Reggae Girls is they embody the national motto of Jamaica, which is out of many one people. So when you look at the entirety of the Jamaica squad, you have dark-skinned girls, mixed-race girls, girls who have black and Asian in them. You also have the homegrown players, so like your Bunny Shaw, your Konya Plummer, your Den Blackwood. So what that means in terms of from a grassroots perspective is girls who are born in Jamaica can look at a Bunny Shaw and hear that authentic accent and say, you know, if Bunny can make it, then so can I. Once you hear that authenticity, that raw Jamaican accent, they should be able to look at a Bunny Shaw who's now our captain to say, if Bunny can do it, especially if you come from the same community, the same parish as her, if she can do it, then so can we.
It's great to be here. I know that you're probably the biggest supporters of the Reggae Girls. So what you do and the message that you spread for the girls, it's really appreciated.
Crystal, I gotta give it to her. I've heard a lot of guys say she's the reason why they start off to watch female football. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm pushing her out there to keep on doing your thing. Don't get discouraged. You have a band of brothers behind you. And what we try to do is to get female who think like you know, in the game. Right, Siobhan?
Yeah,
so enough respect to you, Crystal, and keep fighting.
Yeah, because as you mentioned, a lot of persons, because I think the Reggae Girls has been the most successful team in our football, and I think a lot of that was underrated. So what you've done for the local aspect of Jamaicans, you've brought that sense of admiration to the persons know that hey, it's not just the boys, the females as well. The females have the love as well, and honestly, if it wasn't for someone like you, Crystal, the YouTube space would just be crowded with the reggae boys, reggae boys, reggae boys.
Yeah.
It's not about tactics, it's not about midfield, it's about a reaction, mentality to bounce back, show resilience, and get a result.
Struggling, it's just not making sense. It's not making sense. I kind of feel like you're preparing us for disaster. Again, it's not about tactics, and then you're talking about discipline. But for you, how do you execute discipline without tactics? I don't really understand that. Like, how does one execute discipline without referring to the tactics as in the game plan? It's not really making sense. There goes the optimism. My followers, how are you all? Good afternoon, good evening, possibly good morning. All depends on where you are in the world. Welcome back to another live stream. Sense yet? Still not making sense to myself. Do let me know in the comment section. If you haven't hit the like button, what are you waiting on? Go ahead and hit the like button. It does not cost you a penny. I'm giving you something slightly different. I have done transfer talk on my show before, but today I wanted to give you guys something with a little bit of a twist. And if I manage to pull it off and you guys like it, then I will continue to do so as it relates to the transfer talk. So as I said, you know, giving you guys something different. It's down to you guys really if I bin it or whether I keep it. So do let me know in the comment section if you like the show. Obviously, let me get through the show first and let me know if you like it, or maybe you're watching it back on replay. Let me know. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Remember, I'm here to give you guys the service, and hopefully in return you guys will, you know, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, like, share, the whole lot. So welcome to our live transfer talk. Today we're going to be diving into the latest football moves for the Reggae Boys and of course the Reggae Girls. We'll be analyzing the good and the bad for both clubs and players. Judging by my thumbnail, I think you guys might have figured this one out already. Of course, you're going to be looking at Damari Gray's return to his boyhood club, Birmingham. We're also going to be looking at Rihanna Blade's move to Sunderland, and also Imari Bell. He's made a move to Charlton Athletic, but I haven't given everything away. I've deliberately held back on a couple of the transfers there because why? I don't want to ruin the show for you guys. So for you guys to know about every single transfer that I've decided to talk about, Again, this is just a test, so I'm not going to talk about every single Reggae Boys and Girls transfer because it will take up a lot of time. And if this doesn't land in the way that I want it to, then that could potentially be a complete waste of my time. You know, researching takes a lot of time and effort. It is taxing. So again, I've selected a couple transfer there that I think will definitely float your boat. You're quite quiet on me tonight. Why is that? Have I done something wrong? Let me check my background. Maybe I'm pretty sure I've opened up the comment section for you guys, but let me just double check that. You guys aren't usually this quiet. So let's go ahead and see if I've actually stopped you guys from dropping a comment. No, I haven't. Seems like you guys are just not in the talking mood. Not really sure why that is, but hopefully you utilize the comment section. It is there for a reason. Don't let me sit here and talk to a screen because that's no fun. So do go ahead and drop some comments in the comment section in your own time. Please do go ahead and drop some comments in the comment section. If you haven't hit the like button, what are you waiting on? Go ahead and hit that like button. It does not cost you a penny. All right, if you're out and about, I hope that you arrive at your destination. Subsequently, I hope that you arrive back home safe and unharmed, because you know how it goes. Doing so is an underrated blessing. Enough of you haven't hit that like button. I don't know, it seems like you guys are in a little bit of a miserable mood. Only half of you have hit the like button so far. I do think I'm deserving of a like, so go ahead and kind of hit that like button for me. All right, so how should we start this one off? I'm kind of thinking, how should I start this one off for you guys? I think I might start off with the move there that's making me feel a little bit concerned. It's making me feel a little bit concerned. So I might go ahead and start off with the move that's making me feel slightly concerned. Let's see, guys. Let's see which one we should go ahead and let's see. Or I might leave that one towards the end. Okay, you know what? Let's start off on a lighter mood. Okay, let's go ahead and start off on a lighter mood, and then I'll segue into the move that's causing me a little bit of a concern, and I'll share my concern with you guys in a short while. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring up my first transfer talk there for you guys. Let me just go ahead and switch something off because it is kind of distracting me. Let's see something. One moment there, guys. All right. So let's go ahead and look at this announcement there from Charlton Athletic. Kind of feel like Charlton Athletic is probably our second home. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but well, if you watch English football, maybe it is one of your second home, because obviously we have the Reggae Boys and Girls kind of spread across the globe, you know, across Europe, in Asia, the United States, Canada, the whole lot, and of course on home soil, but one of our second home. So I'm going to take my eyes off the screen, which means if you guys drop something in the comment section, I won't be able to see it. So please don't feel like I am ignoring you. I'm not. I just temporarily can't see you guys. All right, so let's go ahead and look at this deal here where Amari Bell is concerned. And it does say here, Addicts completes Amari Bell signing. I don't know what you guys make of Charlton Athletic, but I think I have rained them so many praises over my last few live streams, just randomly. And I really like the conversation around Charlton Athletic from certain sections of our fan base. They kind of treat them as if they're not that club, and you're wrong. I mean, I've already spoken about Charlton Athletic and the players there that they've developed, so I won't regurgitate what I've said, but definitely with the number of Jamaicans under their ranking and, you know, aiding their development, I'm fully behind the Addicts. But enough of that. Let's just go ahead and get into the meat of the matter as it relates to Charlton Athletic. You guys are way too quiet for my liking. I don't like that. Drop some comments in the comment section. And it does say here, taken from Charlton Athletics website, Addicts complete Amari Bell signing. I won't read it in its entirety. What I'll do is just touch on the most important information there. It does say here, Charlton Athletic are delighted to announce the signing of Jamaican international Amari Bell following the expiration of his contract at Luton Town. The versatile left-sided defender who has been capped 28 times by his country arrives with plenty of experience, having featured 216 times in English football's top 2 tiers. Bell has put pen to paper on a 2-year contract to become Nathan Jones' fourth signing of the summer following the arrivals of Sonny Carney, Thomas Kaminski, and Tanto Ola Offie. I do apologize if I've butchered your names there, lads. In relation to the Reggae Boy, as it relates to how he feels about his latest move, he stated, "It's a fresh start for me and one that I'm looking forward to as Charlton are on the way back up." So there's some instant confidence there. He continued by saying, "It's another chance to work with Nathan, who is a great manager that knows how to get the best out of his players, and he certainly does for me." So there lies the manager and player relationship. It's always great when a manager goes out their way to recruit you. What does that tell me about Amari Bell's character? Clearly, he does have a good character for someone to move to another club and turn around and say, I want him to join me at my new club. It says a lot about his character, and it does say that he has a good character about him. So long may it continues. In relation to the official quotes there, he also stated that it's going to be a great time. Now, as it relates to the manager himself, Nathan Jones, he added, "Amari, someone I know well. I signed him at Luton and he did fantastically well for me. He knows how I want to play. He has championship and Premier League experience, and he's been a wonderful athlete with pace and power. He will add to the group, and we're really excited because left-sided centre halves are very difficult to come by." So I'm going to stick a pin in it. As I said, I'm not going to read the complete announcement there because I'm a little bit long-winded and I don't really want to bore you to death. So just glossing over a couple of the things there in terms of is it a good move? A couple good pointers there with regards to Amari Bell's latest move again to the Addicts being Charlton Athletic. In terms of the club itself, I think it's a good move for them. It comes along with experience there from the Premier League as well as the Championship. As it says here in the announcement that he has, if I can find it for you guys, he's featured 216 times in English football's top 2 tiers. So he has an abundance of experience as it relates to the top level experience, which I think will be invaluable for Charlton side that is looking to further establish itself and compete effectively in the Championship. I'm sure this is going to be one of those teams there that we're cheering on from a distance. And of course, if you're close by and you can get to a Charlton Athletic game, then go ahead and support our Reggae Boys, our countrymen, our compatriot if you can. Now, adding to why it's a good move, echoing some of the words there that was stated in that announcement there on the screen in front of you, we have to also look at the versatility of the player. Bell is primarily a left back or left wing back, but Nathan Jones also highlighted there that he could potentially, that he is a left-sided center half, which he obviously echoed on the rarity, bit of a special gem in his eyes. So again, there goes the versatility. I think you can see from managers, I don't know if it's a nowadays thing, but maybe even more frequently, whether it be with your second club or your first club, your Arsenal, your Manchester Uniteds, or your Chelseas. I think you've seen over the years that managers love a player that is versatile. Even when it comes to the Reggae Boys, or even more so where the Reggae Girls are concerned, the head coaches, they love a versatile player for obvious reasons. They can fill the void if there is any unfortunate, unplanned injuries that just pop up out the blue. Again, you can see that relationship there, which has clearly stated there by not just the player Amari Bell, but also the gaffer Nathan Jones. So again, it's always great when you have a respectable relationship with between player and manager. I think it kind of sets the tone for what's to come, and clearly there must be some respect there between both gentlemen. They've worked with each other in the past, and they've decided to link up again. So there goes another good pointer for all those addict fans there, that they've got some mutual respect between each other. And I think in terms of where the player is concerned, having worked with the manager before, he should be aware of the gaffer's tactical demands, you know, his playing style, probably more importantly, his expectation. He must know what the, not just the club, but more so the manager. He must know what the manager expects of him and whether he can adhere to those demanding expectations, because you know, championship, the next step you want to do is to push towards Premier League football. So it's good to know that one, the manager sees something positive in Amari Bell, hence recruiting him. And like I said, you know, the mutual respect between each other, understanding each other's expectations and so on, I think it should make for a fruitful relationship. Now I'm going to leave you guys to decide whether this one is a bad deal or whether the good outweighs the bad. Obviously, it's no secret. It is a drop down in terms of league status. But it should be a move there that also, irrespective of the situation, it's nothing is guaranteed in life, but it should guarantee him an abundance of minutes under his belt. He's essentially made a move from what was once a Premier League club, which was short-lived, unfortunately. Didn't like to see Luton Town get relegated, but it is what it is. And he is now in the championships. Now, for some people who are critical, they probably look at this as a step down. I think for some people, having seen Bell compete in the Premier League, they perhaps would have liked to have seen him, you know, being lured back to the Premier League by a current Premier League club. But you know, you don't know what the future holds. You don't know what's going to happen with Charlton Athletic and their push for Premier League football. It might a deal like this might in the end prove dividends. It might be a case of come this time, not even this time, but come around May, where I'm celebrating a return to the Premier League for one of our Reggae boys. Now, it's not Premier League football, but like I said, that's probably for the time being, because you don't really know what the future has in store. It could, as I said, be a deal that materialize itself and pays great dividends. After tasting Premier League football, I'm no footballer, but I should assume that when you taste football, which is regarded as the best league in the world, whether you want to say arguably or factually, I think naturally the appetite is, or I should assume that naturally the appetite would be you want to play more Premier League football. But for now, I'll say temporarily in the championship. But he does, as I've said, he has a chance of returning to top flight football, and that heavily depends on Charlton's success, whether it's going to be this season or next season. Now, the one there that a lot of us probably don't like to talk about, you know, not trying, there's certain things in life that you just can't avoid, and age is one of them. Obviously, the downside is to this is probably the age and the future mobility of the player. Let me just do a let me just scroll up to see. Okay, yeah, it says here that he's 31 years of age. So this transfer might be one of Bell's last significant move in terms of big move. And I guess it depends on a number of things, whether or not he's able to take care of his body. He might have another 3, maybe 4+ years in his tank. It might be a case of, you know, his last significant big move in English football. I don't know. He might decide that he wants to test the water elsewhere, be it across the pond in the United States or somewhere else. But in terms of the significance of the deal, this could potentially be his last significant move. And while it's a good fit for Charlton Athletic, it might limit his the options there for any further step up in his career if Charlton don't achieve what we all want them to achieve, which is to um go and be promoted, be it win the championship or seal some form of promotion to the Premier League. Again, that's not to say that if Charlton Athletic don't secure Premier League football, that he won't return to Premier League football, because we don't really know what the future has in store. He might have a stellar season, he might have a commanding season, and there might be a Premier League club out there that says, you know what, I'll take him. I want him playing for my club. At least we can say with this one, he does appear to have some wonderful character about him. It does seem like it should have some tremendous character. If a coach wants to work with you again, I can almost guarantee that you do have a wonderful character. So do let me know in the comments section there if so far if you think this is a good move or a bad deal. And please do the same for the for each of my transfer talk, or maybe if you're watching it on replay, you go ahead and let me know in the comment section if you've enjoyed the live stream. And judging by your reaction and your feedback, I'll decide whether or not I'll continue with same type of content for you guys, or whether I need to go ahead and make some minor adjustments. All right, so the next player that I think we should look at is Stockport County FC and also Malik Mobissil. You guys must have seen this one. I will be pausing in a short while to look at what you guys are saying there in the comments section. So do bear with me, see if we can get through my next transfer done deal. And it does say here, County smash transfer record for one of EFL's, that is English Football League's, biggest talents. Yes, Malik Mobissil, our compatriot, our countryman, Reggae boy. And it does say here, Stockport County is thrilled to announce the signing of Peterborough United's forward Malik Mobissil for an undisclosed fee. I've seen some rumor around that the fee is reportedly 1 million. Do let me know if you guys have seen something different. Again, I won't read this announcement there fully in its full length. I'll just pick out the parts there that stood out to myself. If you want to give it a reading for yourself in your own time, do head over to the Stockport County Official Club website. You can do the same for Charlton Athletic if you want to read up a little bit more on Amari Bell. I just had a brain fog for a second, and while I before I actually move on to Malik Mobissil, let's remind ourselves that we do need to be extra kind to Charlton Athletic. Not really sure why there's a little bit of a pushback there from a certain section of the fan base, but let's remind ourselves that aside from Amari Bell, they also have Karoy Anderson, Tyrese Campbell, and also Kaheem Dixon. So in terms of settling period, it's a bit like when you go to a new work, a new job. You first day is a little bit, might be a little bit rocky, you might be a little bit nervous, you're not really sure who to sit next to, who to have your lunch with, and so on. But at least he should find some comfort knowing that he's got some compatriots there to lean on, be it Anderson, Campbell, or Dixon. So, we've got a handful of reggae boys there at Charlton Athletics. So if you fancy supporting a club and you don't know who to turn to, I mean, I think this one is probably pretty obvious there if you're searching for that second club, and maybe you're looking for a club in the championship to push for some Premier League competition. So Charlton, I should think, is one of those clubs there for you. Now back to Malik Mobissil. Let's say it says here the Jamaican international becomes the club's new record signing, eclipsing the fee paid to Nottingham Forest for Ian Moore in 1998, with Malik signing a 3-year deal at Edgerley Park with the option for an additional year. Also says there the 21-year-old joins just having Joyce having just enjoyed a breakthrough season in League One, scoring 16 times and registering 10 assists in all competitions, helping Posh to retain the Virtue Trophy with victory against Birmingham City at Wembley. His performances over his 57 appearances saw him named as the club's Young Player of the Year. And I know there's lots of talks there about Malik Movesey. I know plenty of you are actually raving and you want him to be playing for the Reggae Boys and securing those all important minutes in his back pocket. So Steve McLaren, the Reggae Boys fan base are firmly looking at you. Prior to that, Movesey was in Leyton Orient's academy before joining Chelsea as an under 16. He went on to become a scholar at Stamford Bridge, playing in the same squad as the likes of Amari Hutchinson, Lewis Hall, and Joss. How do I pronounce his surname? I think it's Akimpong. I do apologize. I think I butchered your name there, Josh. I do apologize for that. That is not intentional. I will get better. So let's just maybe pause on this picture here. That's a lovely taken photo. I'm not a photographer, but I do appreciate some good photography. So again, to reiterate some of the key findings there from the report. Again, this one taken from Stockport County's official club website for the club. As it stated there, he signed a 3-year deal, and it's a club record. And I think that's a pretty big thing. How often, not even when was the last time, how often can we actually sit here and say that one of our players, be it a reggae boy or a reggae girl, have made a move, and the move happens to be a club record move in terms of the fee and so on. And of course, yes, I know context matters, but let's just celebrate the positives for what it is. Let's not try and say any buts or whatever. Let's just celebrate a positive for him. And to reiterate, that is a club record signing there. First time the club have smashed their transfer signing there since 1998, where they signed their former player there, Ian Moore. Now, is this a good deal? I will allow you guys to decide upon that one. I'm going to go ahead and highlight this paragraph here because I'm actually going to be speaking about it. Now, in terms of the club itself, so Stockport County, I think it's a win for them. They have acquired a top talent that is, making a lot of airways for himself. I think he's a talent there that the Reggae Boys fans definitely want to see more of, in terms of him putting on the black, gold, and green jersey and being given a fair chance to show what he's capable of. Because if he can do it in England, then we want to see him in terms of where the club football is concerned. We want to see if he can do it for the Reggae Boys as well, especially when there's so much conversation there regarding to, complacency, the change of the baton, wanting to see fresh faces, new energy, and so on. So in terms of the whether it's a good move, again, please let me know in the comment section if you feel it's a good move. As I've said, Stockport County, they have acquired a top talent in Movesey. He is regarded as one of the most exciting young player in the English Football League. His stats definitely does speak for itself. You can see it there highlighted on the screen in front of you. Scoring 16 times and registering 10 assists in all competitions there. And this was some stats here which helped Posh to retain the Virtue Trophy with victory against Birmingham City at Wembley. So to reiterate, his performance over his 57th appearance saw him named as the club's Young Player of the Year. I know some of you are like all hung up on stats, but that does signify for me a player with significant potential, and one that could, if he is enabled and supported, I think there's some room there for, in terms of his age in mind, and he's 21 years old, so there's definitely some room there for growth and hopefully subsequent impact. Another a positive there as it relates to whether it's a good move. I think when a club makes you their record signing, that is most certainly a statement of intent. Like they're basically saying you're the man or woman, depending on whatever conversation we're having. But as it relates to Mothersill, I think that is a statement there of intent for you to become a club record signing. This is a this is a record that has stood for, what do you call that, guys? Nearing 30 years, I believe, nearing 3 decades. And that's something to be celebrated, irrespective of who you are, whether you support the player or not. I think we can all say that that is definitely a round of applause. So the message of intent is quite clearly laid out on the table from the club sides. It does illustrate a clear message of Stock Sports' ambition in what they're trying to achieve for this season and beyond. I don't think they're looking to just sign players for players' sake, you know, in terms of where their league position is concerned. But I do think that it is an indication of the club's attempt of wanting to taste further success and hopefully promotion to the championship. When you're in the championship, obviously the next best push there is for them to secure a move to the Premier League. We're a long way off from that because as things stand, they do have some groundwork to do. So first things first for them is to elevate themselves from League One up to the championship. Now he is a player there that is quite versatile. I think I might have to change my screen to look at something there with you guys. Do I have to change my screen? I do believe I do have to go ahead and change my screen here, guys, because you can't see what I want you to see. So let me go ahead and change my screen because it's not going to make sense. And let's just go ahead and do a quick change of screen. I'm hoping that it works. Okay, so let me see if you guys can see what I can see. I don't like looking at screens without you guys also looking at it with me. Kind of feel like it's a little bit selfish. So let's just go ahead and pause it on that screen right there in front of you guys. Lovely to see the Jamaica flag, by the way. And this one is clearly taken from Transfer Market. So you can see here in terms of why it's a good deal, in terms of the versatility, similar to the versatility there of Amari Bell. Another player here is that thankfully belongs to us as a reggae boy. He's also a versatile player. You can see here he can play in a range of positions. So he can, in terms of the front line, he can play wide, central, or slightly deeper. So that does come as a tremendous bonus there for any club. It says here, main position, left winger. He can play as a center forward or as a right winger. So going back to the deal itself, I can bring up some additional information there to highlight for you guys. Let's see. Yeah, let's just go ahead and highlight that one. So when you're signing a player, as I said, it is a 3-year deal, but they also do have the option for an additional year. So at 21 years old, when you're looking at being one of the most sought after player within the English Football League, and you've gone on to become your current club record signing, what that says to me, reason why it's also a good move. Potentially, only time will tell if it's a good move for the club. But for the time being, the bare minimum, it is a move there that signifies long-term investment. It's a 3-year deal with an option for an additional year. So that does, in terms of why it's a good move for Mothersill, it does provide that stability. We all need stability in our lives, and football is no different. You know, football is their 9 to 5, so we all want a stability. Nowadays, when it depends on your field, but nowadays when you apply for jobs or when you come to do the contract talks, for some people, the maximum that they're giving you is maybe, let's say, a 6 months contract. But that's outside of football. You know, for football, in terms of the women's game itself, it's not uncommon for footballers to get a 1-year contract. Doesn't really offer much layer of stability, but as it relates to Stockport County and Malik Mothersill, there's some stability there, which allows the club and the player to find some way of development, aiding his development, and hopefully in the, I would say, not really a fan of immediate gratification, but in terms of long-term gratification, hopefully they'll be able to help his career continue on a upward trajectory, and all of that will pay dividends in the end in terms of success. Now, is this a potential bad deal? I'll leave you guys to decide that one. A couple of things that came to mind in terms of, is this a bad deal, or does the good outweigh the bad? To reiterate, he is the club record sign-in, so there is some financial risk there which you cannot avoid. Yes, it is a statement of intent. So while it's a statement of intent, spending a club record fee, again, it is reported to be in the region of 1 million on a, yes, he's one of our own, and he does come with plenty of talent at his disposal, but he is also, let's remind ourselves, 21 years of age, and he's had a full breakout season, which in itself, I guess, does carry its own inherent risk. There's no guarantee that he will consistently deliver at a high level, or even at a higher level if they are to seek promotion. Hopefully, by the grace of God, they do seek promotion. And that is probably, again, only time will tell, but it is something that I think naturally any club will have in the back of their mind in terms of it being a risk factor. Is he worth the risk? Clearly he is. Otherwise the club wouldn't have backed them, and they wouldn't have backed whatever fee they needed to pay for him. As I said, it is reported that it is in the region of 1 million. So when you were the club's record sign-in for how many years is that? You guys tell me. You guys were like the math magicians. How many years is that exactly? Let me know in the comment section. When you are their record sign-in, whether you're 21, 24 or 30, immediately there's going to be pressure on you. Like, no one's going to care about your age. No one's really going to care about adjustment. And I say no one, it more so comes from the fan base more than the club itself. The pressure is there. The question there, whether it's going to be a bad move, I am assuming it comes down to whether pressure busts pipe. Hopefully it doesn't in the case of Mothersill. But again, you're coming in as a record signing. It does place somewhat of an immediate pressure on his young shoulders to perform, because it's a big money signing. It's a record signing for your club. So I think this could potentially be his biggest of challenge as a young player. 21 years of age, and it's probably a monumental pressure there, because not just are you the record signing, and it comes with the intent of you being the record signing, but when you're going out there and you're shattering your record where signing is concerned, clearly that's an indication of a club wanting to taste success, and the next thing for them is to get to the championship. So I am assuming that there will be some dependency on Mothersill to repeat what he has done before elsewhere with his former club. I think if he does struggle, hopefully he doesn't. If he does struggle with anything that is out of his control, injuries, adjustment period, it might be somewhat of a mountain for him to climb. I'm sure these things aren't uncommon for young players. But again, the key to all of this is knowing that he is the club record signing, and it could also, if he does more so in terms of the dependency there, it probably affects the club more so than the player, because God forbid if he does pick up an injury, it could potentially put a strain on Stockport's financial planning and subsequently their on-field performance. So hopefully none of that happens and he's able to have a fruitful career where, in terms of the trajectory, it just continues to go upward from strength to strength. Now, he is 21 years old, unproven at a higher level. While he has excelled elsewhere, this is potentially a completely different challenge for him, and he has yet to prove himself in the championship. He has to prove himself not just for his current club, Stockport, but he has to also prove that he can carry the mantle of being that marquee signing poster boy. And best of luck to him. Best of luck to all the players there who have made their transfers to new environment or familiar environments. Hopefully it does go well for them. So for the time being, I'm going to see what you guys are saying there in the comment section, because I've not actually highlighted you guys. I do apologize. Let me know so far what you make of what's been said. I've been speaking of you guys for over 40 minutes. Them Oats, big up yourself. Good move for him since it's not going too well for Luton. So you're referring to Amari Bell. Paul Watkins, big up yourself. Father Bling, big up yourself. Conrad Smith, big up yourself. Tafari, big up yourself. Conrad says, like up the stream. Please do go ahead and like up the stream. People still want them that always good. Some of the locals not going to like that. I'm not even sure which person this is you're referring to. Big up yourself, Dockland Stennett. I hope you're well. 3-year deal is good for him. Definitely. Do you think the minutes he got in the Unity Cup played a role in him getting signed? It's probably a case of he was always going to sign. It's probably a case of, look, he was always going to get signed. I think definitely talked about. He's a player that is talked about and bright young talent. So maybe it might have helped, but I think he was always going to get a move. If it's not this season, it was going to be maybe next season, right? So that is concerned. So again, it's a different type of test for him. More League One football. Push is to go to the championship. And we'll take it step by step. We're not going to jump the gun. So so far we've discussed Amari Bell's move there to Charlton Athletic, where he's going to be linking up with a couple of his countrymen. And those players there, Karoy Anderson, Tyrese Campbell, and Kaheem Dixon. So you've got more than a handful of players there for Charlton Athletic. If you haven't hit the like button, I'm not really sure why that is. Go ahead and hit the like button. It does not cost you a penny. Pristine, big up yourself. You say it's a good signing. I do agree. Good moves or bad deals, do let me know in the comment section. If you haven't hit the like button, what are you waiting on? It does not cost you a penny. Please do go ahead and hit the like button. So what other move there should we look at? We've got a couple more Reggae Boyz move there to look at. This is you know what, I think I'm going to go ahead and look at the move there that I am most concerned about. And do let me know if you guys share same sentiments as myself. Oh, we've discussed this one already, but I feel like we vaguely touched on Richard King's move. And this is the move here that I am yeah, I do harbor some concerns, definitely, but quite similar to the Amari Bell and also Malik Movasil's move. Let's go ahead and see the club announcement there written in bold. Welcome Richard King to St. Mirren's Football Club. This one is a bit of a short read, so I guess I can just read the entire announcement. It says a Jamaican international Richard King joins St. Mirren. St. Mirren Football Club is delighted to announce the signing of Richard King from Jamaican Premier League side Cavalier on a 2-year deal subject to a medical and visa approval. So normal protocols. He's going to be working in another country outside of his birthplace. Obviously, he's going to need some visa approval. The 23-year-old defender signs a deal until summer 27, with the club holding an option to extend a further year. Richard, a Jamaican international with 30 caps, has coveted interest from clubs across the UK and Europe, but has chosen to join Saints and becomes our third signing of the 2025-2026 campaign, following the permanent acquisition of Killian Phillips and Ronald Rowlands Iwodu from Crystal Palace and Shrewsbury Town, respectively. Saints manager Stephen Robinson said Richard King is a player I tried to sign in January along with Martin Foyle. We had tracked him for a long time and kept up with his progress. He has progressed really well under Steve McLaren and the Jamaican national team. He's quick, he's strong, and he's a project for us as well, as it's a step in up to a level. Sorry, as it is a step in level. Some quotation here. It says, I had a really good conversation with Richard and the Cavalier owner, and we were aligned in our thinking terms of giving Richard a good platform. We believe he can be a really good asset for the football club when he returns from playing in the CONCACAF Gold Cup. We think Richard will add real competition to the boys we've already got, and will give us another option in that department. So again, let me know in the comment section what you make of this deal here for Richard King. Is it a good move or bad deal? So let's start off, as always, let's start off with the positive. Now, good deal, yes, in the sense that it's a pathway to European football, which is something that we've always called for a player of Richard King's caliber. I think we all looked at him and said, okay, you know, this guy is deserving of a move outside of Jamaica. Definitely a lot of people, no disrespect to MLS football, but did not want him to play across the pond where MLS football is concerned, hence wanting to see him play in Europe. And that has come to fruition. So I think this is a huge step here for the former Cavalier player, moving from Jamaica to the Scottish Premier League, you know, top tier of men's football where Scotland is concerned. It does provide him with a much higher level of competition and also subsequent exposure. It's a critical step in his career. I think it's definitely a step in the right direction. You can see right there that he's only 23 years of age, so he's just slowly approaching his it's the word I'm searching for. His word just eludes me. He's approaching his, cannot think. I really cannot think. There's a word that I'm searching for, but my brain's just not allowing me to think. I guess what I'm trying to say is that he's approaching the best years of his career, the prime years of his career, being 23 years old. You know, you start to peak around about those ages from like 23 onwards. You start to go on a peak. So that's what we're anticipating from someone like Richard King. There's obviously the opportunity there for his development development. There's some development opportunity there. Yes, we know St. Mirren in terms of Scottish football. I'm sure we're familiar to Scottish football. Maybe not so much where St. Mirren is concerned if you don't watch it religiously. I think most of you watching, you're probably more familiar to your Celtics and your Rangers and so on. But nevertheless, it is a club there that is still well established. It does have a stable environment where I think Richard King will be able to add to his development and his skills across his quality. And it's also an opportunity there for him to play a different types of domestic football. So that's always going to be a new challenge to him. Again, I think it would help to aid his development. And we can't ignore the financial benefit. While there's no fees there, I'm not sure if you guys have come across any fees. I'm not so much concerned about his fees, but when I'm talking about financial benefit, I'm talking about the salary for the young man. I think, not that I think, definitely it's going to be much better than what he was earning with Cavalier and in the Jamaica Premier League. So he'll be able to cushion himself for the time being, puts himself in a financial position where he can help to take care of his immediate family and potentially his extended family as well. Now, is this a bad move? Again, I'll allow you guys to decide there in the comment section. This is the move I think that worries me the most because of his age and because he's coming directly from the Jamaica Premier League. I don't doubt his capabilities, don't doubt his abilities, but the reason why I'm so concerned is because of that adaptation risk. Of course, yeah, while he is a promising player, there's always that risk there as it relates to player and the transition from no disrespect to the Jamaica Premier League, but it's a transition from a less competitive league to a league that is obviously more competitive. So there might be that first glance of some struggles there, a couple niggles there as it relates to the adaptation of a new environment, an environment where the football is better in terms of its competitiveness and the intensity and the tactical demands of European football will be different to what he's used to playing week in, week out, where Cavalier is concerned. And there's going to be some pressure on him, similar to the couple of the other signings there that we've touched on from your Malik Movasil in particular, where because he is coming in as a high profile signing, even if there isn't the transfer fee floating around the air, the talent does speak for itself. So there is some pressure there. Hopefully it's not a case of pressure bust pipe. Hopefully he's able to just flock his wings and succeed. But there is some pressure there to perform perhaps immediately and justify why St. Mirren looked to a club in the Jamaica Premier League. And let's be honest, people don't know us for football. They know us for track and field and maybe cricket. So there probably some eyes wondering, why did they do that? So it's down to Richard King for him to go out there and say that even though he's coming from a club or a country, combination of the two, typically known for track and field and cricket and other amazing things that we can play football. And one of the things that I think does worry me, only time will tell whether it's a bad move for him. Hopefully it won't be. I can't help but to think about the distance from home. Moving from Jamaica to Scotland is a significant shift where the geographical location is concerned. It could potentially impact his personal life and family connections. And of course it does matter. For some people probably it doesn't, but no one at the end of the day wants to be away from their families, especially your immediate family. And if he does have a little family of his own, hopefully they are able to pack their bags and travel with him, because these are the little things that stops players from becoming their great self. I think perhaps in terms of homesickness there, you can see even where Premier League football is concerned on the men's side of things, that you can see where a couple of players come into the Premier League from different clubs and they don't quite get settled. And sometimes I look and I think that's probably to do with an adjustment period, maybe being homesick. Maybe Darwin Núñez is one of those players that
maybe the weather and the culture in this country just doesn't work for him, doesn't get the best out of him. Hopefully that's not the case for a young Richard King, 23 years of age, coming out of Jamaica to come and play professional football. Instantly there's going to be some struggle, there's some challenges there where the weather is concerned. You've gone from sunshine to snow. That's when I think of Scotland, where when the winter continues. Sorry, when the winter kicks in, all I can think of is just snow. So it's like one extreme to another. And then you have to talk about the culture. It's gonna be it's a different culture. It's a completely different culture. Not just the culture, but the food. There's gonna be a different taste of food that does add to your adaptation. The accent, we cannot deny the Scottish accent, because even I struggle with certain accents. And I think while we both speak English, I think that might pose up maybe just a slight barrier for him, because the Scottish accent is thick. You know, I had a maths teacher that was Scottish, and it's a thick accent. It's a very lovely accent, but just thick. So maybe that might pose a little slight barrier there for Richard King. Hopefully not. But as I said, my concern, this was my biggest concern for all the transfers that I looked at today, is just that homesickness. Be interesting to see how he managed being away from home, and hopefully he has the right type of people around him who would be able to, even if it's the case we're not going to live with him for the duration of his contract, even if it is to just come to Scotland and live with him for the first 6 months, I think he's going to need that homely support away from home. He needs family. He's going to need loved ones around him. Definitely, if he has a little family of his own to manage any potential homesickness. You know, when you're homesick, that can lead to a number of things. That could lead to loneliness, that could lead to low moods, and also depression. Hopefully it doesn't get to that point for him, but it's not to say that it can't happen, because it can happen. Hopefully it doesn't, but it most certainly can happen. So this is the one that's made me feel very emotional for him, and I hope that it does go well. Pray to God that he doesn't, get no homesickness or no low moods or no depression. And I hope the weather in Scotland is kind to him. And Mr. King, you will need to layer up. If you don't know what cold is like, you're about to find out. I'm going to stick a pin in it and see what you guys are saying in the comment section. DC, big up yourself. I hope you're all right. Eddie Guna, I hope you are well. If you don't know about Eddie Guna, please do make sure that you subscribe to his YouTube channel. Hit the like button on his latest content, and just spread that love and support. Okay, guys. So do let me know in the comment section, as it relates to Richard King, is this a good move or a bad deal? Similar with the other transfers there that we've touched on, from Amari Bell moving to Charlton Athletic, also Richard King going to St. Mirren, and we've touched on Motherstill as well. We touched on Malik Motherstill going to Stockport County. So similar, just let me know if you're watching this one back on replay, or maybe you just jumped onto the stream. Let me know if this is a good deal or a bad move, vice versa. Do let me know in the comment section. Now I'm going to move on to one of the biggest deals that's been people have been ranting about this one on Twitter or on X. Definitely, if you keep your eyes on Championship football, if you are a Birmingham City fan, I've been sitting back and just looking at these guys. They are definitely excited. Maybe a couple clubs have been begrudging them, wondering how are they signing all these top talents. Long may it continue. And it does say here,
taken from the club's website once more. Damari Gray returning home feels right, and I'm hungry for success. Now, this is some extracts there taken from an exclusive from his exclusive first interview with his boyhood club, now his current club, Birmingham City. Interview there. This one was posted on the 3rd of July, but the interview is still obviously fresh. The interview is on their YouTube channel. I won't play this one because I don't want to get flagged for copyright violations, so I'm not going to play it. So I'll go ahead and I guess I could just read this whole thing for you guys because it's not a lengthy read, it's a short read. Let's give this one a spin. It does say here, Damari Gray says his return to Birmingham City is one that feels right, and the winger is hungry for success at his boyhood club. Gray has sealed a permanent switch back to B9 after 2 seasons with Saudi Arabia side Al Ettifaq joining Blues on a 3-year contract. It marks a pertinent homecoming for the 29-year-old who came through the ranks at Birmingham City. Gray made his debut as a 17-year-old in October 2013, and would eventually become a regular in the Championship before departing for the Premier League side Leicester City in 2016. That is January 2016. And after becoming a Premier League winner with the Foxes, I'm sure we all remember Leicester City's iconic Premier League win, playing in the Champions League and spells at Bundesliga club, Bayer Leverkusen, Everton, and Al Ettifaq. The winger returns to English football at the place he calls home. So a couple quotes here taken from that interview that I just mentioned. He says here, to join now feels right. To be back here now means a lot, having tasted success a bit throughout my career. Modest of him. Don't really think you need to say a bit, but that's just my opinion. He also says, I'm hungry and I really want to do it here with Birmingham and try to help the team get back to where we belong. It's something I've wanted for a long time. Seeing some old faces is always nice. To be back around the stadium brought back a lot of feelings, and I can't wait to get going now, get back in front of the fans and see where this season can take us. Some optimism there. I was at the club up to 19 years of age and spent the majority of my career associated with Birmingham. So to come back to the Blues means something, and it's different to just signing for another club. For me to have the opportunity to come back, be around my family, watch my son grow up, him being able to watch me play games at the club I started makes sense, especially at the point of my career now. It's perfect. I'm happy. I'm excited. I want to win things and be successful here in front of my family. I feel good physically. I feel fit, and I know my capabilities. That's one thing I'm really happy about, that have come back when I can contribute and give my best and actually give Birmingham my best years. So if you are a Reggae Boyz fan, it's music to your ears. It's it's similar to some of the things that I said on my last live stream. I think it was my last live stream when I was talking about the homecoming there for the pending homecoming for Damari Gray, and also Taylor Hines. Taylor Hines reportedly set to sign for Arsenal, and then Damari Gray reportedly set to sign for Birmingham, right? So, and a couple of the things that I touched on there is that I assume that it would be a good deal because of the connection to Birmingham. Obviously, he's a Brummy boy. Also assume that he had a family of his own, or immediate family. And it goes to prove that, yes, he does. So if you are a Reggae Boyz fan, as I said, it's music to your ears. Some of the things there that stood out to me, he says he feels good physically. It says they hear that he knows his capabilities. It's some talks about giving Birmingham his best years, and you want to hear that, especially when you're going into those subsequent World Cup qualifiers in some months' time, where Jamaica is concerned. And again, he's talking about the opportunity to come back home and be around his family, watching his son grow up. I think mentally, where well-being is concerned, it's a great move for him. A great move for Damari Gray. Back in familiar surroundings. Back where it all started is with his is with his boyhood club. You know, he's no stranger to responsibilities. I think when I was watching the interview, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe he said, you know, not only is he a parent, but he's a big brother as well. I think he said he's a big brother. Also, you know, so that echoes the, is he used to responsibility? Yes, he is, not just off the field of play as a parent, as a father, but also let's remind ourselves that he's a Premier League winner where Leicester City is concerned. So is this a good move? Instantly, without jumping the gun, in terms of his versatility, his experience, his connections to the club, yes, I do believe it's a good move. It's a club that a lot of people are talking about at the moment. Birmingham City has got a lot of fans of opposing clubs watching over their shoulders, because they know that if you look at the signings that Birmingham City have signed so far, just this week alone, every day you go on Twitter, there's a new signing. So there's a clear intent there for wanting to push for a Premier League return, wanting to win the championship. So, you know, again, we spoke about the importance of family and what that can do when you are around family, and how it allows you to play to your best level. And it's definitely goes without saying that it is a homecoming. It's perhaps an emotional homecoming. We already looked at the fact that it says there in black and white that he came through Birmingham City's academy and made his debut there for Birmingham City. So there's clearly a strong sense of unfinished business and a desire to want to contribute to the club's success. And it's a club that gave him his first start in what is so far a successful career, and long may that success continue. There is, I think, maybe it's a little bit biased. Nothing is guaranteed, but I do think that he's guaranteed playtime in a central role. And I say central role in terms of the way in which the club and the manager will view him. You know, after spells where Leicester City's former club is concerned, the Foxes winning the Premier League with them, Bayer Leverkusen in the Bundesliga returning to the Premier League with Everton, then moving over to the Saudi Pro League with Al Ettifaq. I think it's safe to say that there's been some consistent game time, and sometimes it hasn't gone according to plan, especially when you look at moving to Bayer Leverkusen, and subsequently in no space of time moving to Everton. But I think a return to Birmingham, it definitely offers him a chance to be that pivotal player. I think every player wants to be that guy or that girl, that boy, that man. They want to be that player that the club instills a lot of trust in. They want to be, you know, the marquee player, the poster boy, the poster girl. And I think I think with Birmingham City, that signing for Birmingham City is, I think it offers a sense of belonging, and everybody wants to be loved. Again, my thing is go where you're wanted, not where you're tolerated. And I think for a number of these players there, especially when it comes to this particular live stream, going back to their boyhood club or going back to their countries, I think that's a clear intent of going where you're wanted, not where you're tolerated. So again, to reiterate, there is that obvious family and stability. Moving back to his hometown, I think that allows him to be clearly closer to his family, his immediate family in particular, which I think it does have a significant factor on players. When players are talking about transfers and moving from A to B, they do, if you have a little family, obviously you have to make sure that your partner is happy, your wife is happy. Happy wife, happy life. So that definitely plays a role on the players there moving from country to country or club to club and so on. And I think after a few spells overseas, clearly now is the right time. At 29 years of age, clearly it's the perfect time for him to go back home. I believe you mentioned some stuff there about his son. If I can find it here for you guys, it says, oh yeah, be around family, watch my son grow up. Him being able to watch me play games at the club I started makes sense. So again, that family ties there. It's also an opportunity there for him to regain momentum. You know, while he's had some successful spells in his career, he's definitely had a successful career. I think there's also been some moments there where the stints have probably been less than impactful, to put it politely. So returning to a familiar and supportive environment in Birmingham, it could be the catalyst that the national team of the Jamaica men's national side needs, in terms of the catalyst being he needs to see to it that he reignites his career and consistently showcases talent, because when he came and started playing for Jamaica, he looked like a missing piece to the puzzle. The puzzle is yet to be solved, but he fit in perfectly. And again, he's only 29 years old, pushing on for 30, but I think it's safe to say that he still has a lot to offer. I think, if I'm not mistaken, there are some reports there that he took a pay cut. So clearly there's some passion there. I mean, even if he didn't take a pay cut, based on what I read out to you guys, they're taken from the article itself. Clearly, the passion is there, and to take a pay cut, if it does hold water, significant or not, clearly indicates a strong desire there to want to play for reasons beyond financial gain, which I guess is somewhat unheard of these days in football. Not that it's a bad thing, but is somewhat unheard of. So I think this demonstrates his commitment to the club, and also his own personal ambitions. I think his biggest ambition right now, without speaking for him, is he wants to give Birmingham City success. No greater success than taking them to the Premier League. Also, to close off on the year, he wants to put Jamaica in the driving seat of saying, finally, the men's team are once more going back to the promised land. Haven't been there since 1998, where the World Cup is concerned. So I think this puts him in a position there to do the necessary, similar to three of the other signings there. It's a statement of intent. I think signing a player of Gray's caliber, especially one who has I'm sure he would have had other clubs looking at him. I can't remember the other club that was looking at him. There's a Premier League club that was showing some interest there for Damari Gray. And it's so funny because I've covered this already, but my memory is just not there tonight, so I do apologize. I'm saying that to say he has had interest elsewhere where the Premier League is concerned. Clearly could have just taken that, but for his personal reasons, he has decided that home is where the heart's at, and he wants to go back home to Birmingham, and he has done exactly that. And I think, again, if you look at what Birmingham City have done in the transfer window so far, just this week alone, they're clearly looking to build a squad that's capable of competing at the top end of the championship. And with that being said, they'll be hoping to secure promotion back to the Premier League. Is it a bad move? Like the others, I'll allow you guys to decide. I think a lot has changed from then to now in terms of when he left the club and his subsequent return. So perhaps he might need, just like any other transfer, he might need some time there to readjust. He might need to get some cobwebs off his back, maybe cobwebs off his shooting boots as well, because we've kind of seen that Gray is not the Gray that we know. So might require some patience there from the Birmingham City fans. Might take some time for him to regain his confidence, but I think once it does click into gear, it's all it's green light go for Damari Gray. And I think what makes this a deal that probably outweighs the if there is going to be any bad, hopefully not. Only time will tell, but biggest opportunity here is that he has the chance to go from being the prince of Birmingham City to being the king. And with that, obviously, it depends on the club's success. And it's not just a push for Premier League football, but domestic competition as well. There's some domestic competitions there that they could pick up the odd title here and there. So pressure is definitely on. Pressure does bust pipe, but hopefully, for his sake, hopefully he'll be okay. I'm going to stick a pin in it, see what you guys are seeing there in the comment section. I don't want to make you guys feel all alone. I'm gonna segue soon. Any move out of the JPL is a good move. He will make the best of the opportunity, though. That is from Eddie Guna, who's talking about Richard King. I thought it's Ravel. I wish Ravel was in England playing in one of those leagues, says Conrad. DC says there will be learning curve for King for sure. He is young enough that he can adapt, hopefully. He's gonna have to pack some seasoning. You don't need to worry about bread. You got Ardo. I'm sure you got Ardo bread. One thing about the Jamaica community is that they're all over, so I'm sure he can find something. He's not finding no breadfruit tree in Scotland. You're not finding no guinea. You're not finding no guinea tree, no mango tree. So you might have to pack up on all of that, or if he has a little family and they're coming over, they're going to have to bring all of that for him. You're not getting no juicy beef or no tasty, so you might have to pack up on that. Your Vienna sausage, you might have to pack up on that also. To be honest with you, I've come across Vienna sausage as in the official one, not the UK one that they give us, the one straight from Jamaica, in a shop that's close by to me. Danny Dread, big up yourself. Homecoming is when you're going down. Ouch, Danny Dread. That's a Dread comment. Big up yourself there, Danny Dread. So Danny Dread is saying that this is a bad deal. Interesting. Conrad Smith says it's not everyone can handle that lifestyle there, football. Is he in my comment section? Oh, really? Is that gentleman in my comment section? Surely not. It can't be in my comment section. I'm not sure if Gray is at championship level, probably MSL or League One BM. So BM is probably saying it's a bad deal. Leave your comments in your comment section. Conrad Smith says that to go where they wanted and go where you come. Yeah, again, to reiterate what I've said, go where you are wanted, not where you're tolerated. BM Gray wasn't doing well in Saudi Arabia. The club let him leave for a loss. I mean, like I said, I don't know Damari Gray, but we have to take into consideration that when you're away from your family, especially when you have a an immediate family, it does put a strain on your well-being. Factually, if you care about your family, it does put a strain on your well-being. It's difficult for you to get through your everyday duties. Like, it can put you in a low mood. You can develop anxiety, loneliness, sadness, depression, and all of that can hinder your performance. So I think when we're saying that he didn't play well in Saudi, we have to question ourselves and say why. Class is permanent at the end of the day. You're not just going to not play well because you want to leave. He's not that type of player. He's a professional, a true professional. If there's a dip in form, again, I'm not speaking for him. I'm not speaking for Gray, but I think we have to kind of question why that is as human beings. Conrad says, yeah, they're thinking about EPL short term, I guess. Conrad Smith. So I hope you guys have hit the like button. Hope you guys have gone ahead and hit the like button. I think we need to segue and talk about some Reggae Girls. Couple Reggae Girls have been on the move as well. But let me know if you guys have liked the content. There's been there is more deals to talk about, but I'm testing this one out for you guys tonight. So I'm not gonna give you everything. Sometimes I do a content and I put my back in it, and I really do give you guys something that I think is good, but it perhaps don't land in the way I want it to. Hopefully tonight's content is landing, smooth landing. Is it a smooth landing so far, guys? Let me know in the comment section. Next up, we are going to be looking at another deal there, and this one is from where Chinelu Asha is concerned. Chinelu Asha does say here, DC Power Football Club signs Jamaica women's national team midfielder Chinelu Asha. Won't read this entire announcement. If you want to read it in your own time, you can head over to DC Power Football Club's website. read the most important info there for you guys. So it says here, DC Power Football Club has signed Jamaican national team midfielder Chinelu Asher ahead of the 2025-2026 Game Bridge Super League season, pending league and federation approval. So similar protocol, really. Nothing here to be concerned about. It does say here, by this club sporting director, he said, "We're excited to welcome Chinelu Asha." He also goes on by saying, "Chinelu is an excellent leader and brings extensive experience from the Jamaican women's national team alongside several professional clubs. She knows the demands of competing at the highest level, and we're confident that her veteran status will guide the clubs to success throughout the season." I'm really liking the tune that he's singing, Mr. Steven. And he does continue the article, the announcement here does continue by saying, Chino was Asher was on the Washington Spirits roster, which I'm sure we're all aware of, National Women's Soccer League, etc. Just ringing her some praises, speaking about her debut with the Jamaica Women's National Team, 2016 CONCACAF World Cups, Olympics, Women's Olympics qualifiers, and of course we have known that she made her FIFA Women's debut against Brazil. We know that she was there for the successful first ever FIFA Women's World Cup qualifying campaign where the Reggae Girlz is concerned. And previously we've spoken about Mazatlan, that is her former club there in Liga MX, top tier of women's football in Mexico. And is this a move that surprised me? I think it's one that I didn't see coming. But if you're a Chinelu Asha fan, I don't really think it should surprise you. She's a person that is, dare I say, ever on the move. She's played in a number of leagues. I think she's played in like at least 7 leagues so far. So she's been in like, places like Kazakhstan, Colombia, USA a number of times, Norway, Sweden, Portugal, and of course, as I've said, Mexico. So it doesn't surprise me, although I didn't expect it to be coming. It doesn't surprise me. So as it relates to Chinelu, is it a good deal? Based on the announcement they're taken from the club's website, I think so far we can say, I'm going to look at the goods, and I'm going to let you guys decide in the comment section. So no secrets. It is a return to the US and also the professional league. So it's a return there for Chinelu Asha, where you can say a bit like the Damari Gray. It is it's homecoming, going back to the United States, no place like home type of thing. So that is a thumbs up. I think it is a move that makes a return not just to her country of birth, where the United States is concerned, but it's also given her an opportunity there to play in a new league. I'm going to go ahead and bring up DC Power for you, so we can go ahead and look at this particular football club, because some of us are probably not familiar with them. So you should be able to see this one on the screen there in front of you. As you can see there, DC Power Football Club, founded in 2024, so relatively new. Because of what we know of Chinelu Asher, and I'm really glad that her club has given her praises there, rain praises on her, and she does deserve it. I think it's to be expected that she will likely play a key role, and she will get an abundance of playing time under her belt. And as an experienced midfielder for both club and the country where Jamaica and the Reggae Girlz are concerned, I think it's safe to say that Asha is expected to play a pivotal role for DC Power. There's a clear opportunity there for her to ensure consistent playing time, because obviously because of her veteran experience and so on, which I think is valuable for any player, particularly with her age in mind. And no secret, no surprise, we are in a we're already in. You know, we've got past the preparation for our World Cup qualifiers where the women's team is concerned. Not really sure if she's part of the current plans where the head coach and the Reggae Girls are concerned, but nevertheless, we are in a World Cup cycle. Naturally, we all know when it comes to Chinelu Asher, a player like her, we can see not just what she's done on the field of play, but her work elsewhere where Fifth Pro is concerned. It's no secret that she is a natural leader. So there's some opportunity there as it relates to leadership with her extensive years of experience across various leagues there, which I've already touched on in terms of the countries there that I named out to you guys. I think it's like 7+ different countries. There's a wealth of experience there that she has gained over a number of years, and also as a Reggae Girl international, she can no doubt provide those invaluable dare I say mentorship for the younger players, you know, in a leadership and mentorship role, which I'm sure the club will most certainly appreciate. They've got those areas there of stability. She's joining a new league, a new club. You can say there on the screen in front of you, it says 2024 is when it was founded. It does have a stadium capacity there, it says of 28,000. Would love to see them get that one sold out in a game or few or every game where this particular team is concerned. So again, it goes back to go where you are wanted, not where you're tolerated. For a club that is still relatively new to turn to a Chinelu Asha, it does say faith. It does say that they do have some faith in you. And I think the faith offers that layer of stability which every team which every player wants, and team as well. And in terms of the geographical location, in terms of where her birthplace is, I think the move to DC Power FC means that she's playing near her local region essentially. So this could be a personal benefit for her, closer to family and friends. I think naturally that's a mood lifter. And I think maybe unlike previous years, I'm not sure how it's worked out for Chinelu over the years in her playing career, but perhaps unlike previous years, she'll be home in time for Christmas. And is it a bad move? Again, I'll allow you guys to decide. Again, 2024 is when the club there was founded. So obviously, there's some uncertainty there of a new league. You have to look at while it is ambitious, you go out and you get a player like that, it does showcase some layer of ambition. All new league, I think, is safe to say, does inherit their own risks regarding immediate long-term gratification, long-term stability, the competitiveness of the league, and the financial viability. And I think this could be seen as a step into, let's say, the unknown where Chinelu is concerned. But I don't think that's going to phase her, because when you look at the other clubs that she's played for in across those leagues there that I read out to you guys, I think it's safe to say without knowing Chinelu that was a step in the unknown. So I don't think this is something that's going to work against her. And if anything, she's got her family close by. There might be some potential dip in the competition, perhaps initially, not forever, just probably in the early phase. And so as it relates to the league, it might take some time for the league itself to reach those competitive standards that she's used to, having played elsewhere, you know, like the NWSL, you know, playing in Europe, playing in Mexico for her former club Mazatlan. So there is some question mark over there, and similar to Amari Bell, we can't avoid that age discussion. You do have to consider age and long-term value. I think more so where the club is concerned. I think Chinelu is about 32 years of age. Let me go and double check that. I think she might be 32, guys. Let's just double check. how old Chinelu Asher is. Yeah, she's 32 years of age. So she's essentially in similar to your Amari Bell. She's they are essentially in the latter stages of their playing career. They could probably add a few more years to their chamber, depending on how well they take care of themselves. So while her experience is no doubt invaluable for DC Power FC, from the business side, because football is a business, it's perhaps unlikely that the club will secure a significant profit in terms of any sale valuation from any potential future transfers. And then the pressure, similar to her compatriots where the men's football is concerned and their dealings elsewhere with their new clubs, there is some pressure, no doubt. Chinelu, as it says there in the club announcement, she's a veteran. So if a club is calling you a veteran, there lies the level of expectation. There's going to be some high level of pressure and expectations from her because she is a veteran. She's been around the block. She's been here. She's been there, played in a range of different leagues, been around a number of different cultures. So and also as an experienced international player, it is likely that the club will hold her in some high regards in terms of being a key signing for a new team. I think yes, she will be a key signing, but there will be some expectations there, I think, for Asher to, let's say, perform immediately and contribute tremendously to the team's success from here on out, because they have called you a veteran. So you kind of have to just go out there and do what's expected of you. Next up, we can go ahead and look at another player there that's made a move. And we can go ahead and look at, has it changed? Oh, it should change on your screen. Yeah, it should change on the screen. I'm going to turn my attention to you guys in the comment section. Just allow me to get through my last remaining transfers, and then I will talk with you guys. Right, so it does say here from Halifax Tides FC welcomes Tiffany Cameron. I won't read this in its entirety for you guys. I just touch on a couple of important things. It says, we are proud to welcome Tiffany Cameron to Halifax Tides FC, a seasoned pro with an international career and a deep well of experience. Tiff brings elite skill, unmatched versatility, and an infectious energy to our roster, quite similar to her compatriot there, Chinelu Asher. You know, speaks of. This is another homecoming, by the way, for in terms of location. It does say here, you know, speaking about her journey across the globe, similar to Chinelu Asher, they played in a number of countries, Germany, Spain, USA, Sweden, Norway, Israel, Hungary, and Cyprus. And I'm pretty sure we are familiar with what she did with her former club, Ria Betis. You know, in terms of football, where international football is concerned, represented both Canada and also Jamaica, being part of two successful back-to-back FIFA Women's World Cup qualification, where the black, green, and gold of Jamaica is concerned. So it is a return there to North America and a professional setup. I think I need to bring up this club. I need to bring it up on wiki. I need to see something about them. Let's see if I can find some extra information to share with you guys there. I might change the screen. Do they have a Wikipedia? I hope they do. Yes, they do. Thank God. So let's go ahead. It's pretty similar to Chinelu here. So it's got another team they founded in 2024. I hope you guys can see this one. So yeah, in terms of, is this a good deal, bad move? Leave you guys in the comment section to deal to make your decision on this one, right? So again, another move here where we're looking at a player who I think will be given a significant role in a new league, new club, as an experienced player at club and international level. She's likely to be a key figure and the leader where Halifax is concerned. And it could enable her to nail down her consistent playing time, and potentially put herself in those central role and central positions, and which obviously is going to be invaluable at this stage of her career. Again, we're now looking straight down the barrel for those all important World Cup qualifiers where the Reggae Girlz are concerned. So for her to be knocking on the door where the national team is concerned, giving the manager, the head coach something to ponder over, you have to be getting game time, you have to be getting minutes under your belt, and you also have to do the business on the pitch. And I think Halifax position itself to enabling her to do so. Similar to her compatriot Chinelu Asher and her club, it is a high profile signing for their respective leagues. So all eyes most certainly will be on her and of a signings there that comes into Halifax or for their rivals and teams that they'll be playing. So with that, naturally it's going to be demanding, which I don't think is a unique challenge for her. I'm sure she would have been in demanding situations elsewhere throughout her career. She does have some there is that opportunity there to create some history there for Tiffany, because it does say here Halifax is a professional women's club based in Halifax, in the highest level of the Canadian soccer league system. So stick a pin in it. We all know her country of birth is Canada. So there's a couple things there in terms of legacy instantly. So there's the opportunity there for potential legacy, being one of the founding players for a new team, new league, particularly in Canada, her country of birth. It does allow her to take up the opportunity of delivering some lasting success there where Canadian women's football is concerned. I'm sure she will relish the opportunity to potentially be regarded as a legend in the respective league. And you do have to also think about the competitiveness of the league. While it is a new league, I think they are showing some ambitions there and their capabilities to lure top talent. It's expected that she will still be competing at a high level, right? Again, similar to other deals where Damari Gray and Chinelu Asher is concerned, it's one that brings her closer to home as a Canadian-born player moving to Halifax. I think it's probably in proximity to her roots in terms of her family, loved ones, and so on. And I think it could be a significant personal benefits after all these years of playing across the globe, in countries that don't speak her mother tongue, and in leagues that's potentially not as diversified as perhaps she would like it to be. So I think it will be a benefit for her. And similar to Chinelu Asher, I think she'll be home in time for Christmas, which isn't a guarantee when you're playing overseas. It's not a guarantee that you're going to be home in time for Christmas. Now, is this a bad move? I think I will allow you guys to decide that in the comment section. But with it being a league similar to Chinelu's new club, both founded in 2024, it does obviously carry some uncertainty, uncertainty of a new league. Northern Super League is just starting. Again, while it does clearly shows its ambition, at the end of the day, when you're dealing with any startup company, because this is what it is, it's a business. It just happens to be that the company is a football club. It always does inherit some form of risk in terms of, again, similar to a conversation that we've had with previous clubs, and those inherent risk comes in the sense of stability, long-term, short-term gratification, sustained success, and also the overall quality compared to other leagues that she's played in. So even though that her former league in Spain, like Liga F, where she was used to, playing against top talents in Europe week in, week out. It's a different ball game here where Halifax Ties is concerned. And with that, obviously, there's going to be the question mark pertaining to a potential drop in competition level. Again, initially, because there's no saying what the future holds. So while the league aims for let's say recognition and success, it might take some time, similar to other leagues. When you're just starting up, it could potentially take some time for Halifax and its Northern Super League to get to the same level as other leagues in Europe and across the world, so that be in Germany, Bundesliga, WSL 1, WSL 2, and so on. And again, similar to your Chinelu Asher and your Amari Bell, we can't deny that there is some question marks there pertaining to age. I'm saying age in terms of where the club is concerned, age and limitations for any potential resale valuation. I think Tiffany is 33 years old now. So this move is likely to be a move that is seen as it is here in the moment. It's an opportunity that perhaps cannot be missed. Let's see how this one goes. I don't think it's a move that signifies a stepping stone to a bigger transfer, but you never know how these things pan out. You used to say what the future holds, only time will tell. And obviously when clubs invest in players of a certain age, they're obviously looking for immediate impact and experience. And obviously, I think that's one of the main reasons why they've signed her. They look at her illustrious experience both at club and international level, and clearly they can get a lot out of her in terms of scoring goals. She's a center forward, so what they need from her is to put the ball in the back of the net. I'm sure she's more than capable of doing that. Then you also have to think about, like with every single transfer, whether you're returning homecoming or not. Sometimes even with a homecoming, there is still that adaptation that you have to get through, because you might leave a club today and then 10 years later it's not the same. Like the backroom staff has moved on, your teammates have moved on, the culture is not the same. It's probably better or worse, you never know. But in terms of adaptation there to a new team dynamics, obviously, while she is an experienced player, they will potentially take some time to integrate into a new brand of team, new brand of football. As is always the case with a lot of these new signings, it can potentially pose some challenges there in terms of your chemistry and understanding with different playing styles, whatever the coach has in mind, relationships there with the players around you, and so on. So I think it's should be a good setup for her. But it might be a case of, in terms of, again, because it is a club there that was founded in 2024, might be a case of some initial trial and error in terms of the way in which the club operates. So before I go to my next let's go and see what you guys are saying there in the comment section. A lot of investments is happening in women's football in the US these last few years. A building list of slightly prominent athletes are investing. Asher signed for DC Power on July 4th. That's a highly symbolic date. Asher is from the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia area. So she will really be seen as a hometown hope. Yeah, exactly. Another homecoming there, where our players are concerned. And I also have to talk about another player there for you guys. You guys haven't told me if you like the content or not. I'm not sure if I'm going to give you guys another video like this. So we also have to talk about Sunderland and Rihanna Blades. I'm sure you guys have seen this one. Rihanna Blades signs for Sunderland. It does say here, Sunderland AFC is delighted to announce the signing of Rihanna Blades. Blades moved to Wearside on a one-year deal with the club option of a further year, following the expiration of her contract with National League's North Side Burnley. The 20-year-old played in Brighton and Hove Albion's regional talent club before joining Chelsea's academy, where she signed her first professional contract, my apologies, for the club in October 2023. The pasty winger spent the 2023-2024 season on loan with Lewis and scored against Sunderland at the Eppington CW. I'm glad they actually touched on that, as the Lassies produced a 4-3 comeback victory. So we're going to stick a pin in it there where Rihanna Blades is concerned. So experienced for her young age, she is a experienced player. So let's look at the goods that comes with this move. The quality, because of the quality there of the player, naturally that comes with some high expectation, given her background from Chelsea and her international status where the Reggae Girlz are concerned. There might be higher expectations from fans and the coaching staff in relation to the aims that needs to be met with a young Rihanna Blades. And also in terms of familiarity, that's something good that you can tick off your list. Familiarity with the league. She's already, as it clearly states there in black and white, faced Sunderland, and she's also scored against them. So that's one less headache for them to worry about. So she's again played against Sunderland, scored against them. So she has some understanding of the league and also the opponents around the league. In terms of her career progression, I definitely think she's one of those players there, younger players there, that's worth keeping an eye on. It's a career position that I think is just going like that, and I hope it does continue to do so. Go from strength to strength. Again, go where you're wanted, not where you're tolerated. Go where you are appreciated, not where you are tolerated. After coming through the Chelsea's academy and signing a professional contract, obviously it also has mentioned her loan spell and a brief time at Burnley, moving to Sunderland, championship club, represents, I think, a positive step in the right direction. It's an opportunity there for consistent competition. It does say ambition. When you're 20-year-old and you look at where she has gone in terms of her journey so far, it does tell us that she does have an appetite to develop, thus becoming a better player. So it does appear that she has some sensible decision makers there around her. While I am talking about women's football, what do you guys make of the new name? So in case you guys don't know, the championship where the English football is concerned, second tier women's championship, it's no longer called the championship. They've done another name change and now they're calling it WSL 2. So we've got the WSL 1, which is the top tier, and now we have WSL, the Women's Super League 2. What do you guys make of the name change? I'm not a fan of the name change, but while we're on the topic, what you guys all make of the name change? Again, in terms of the goods there, maybe most of where the club is concerned, international ambitions, playing. Not just the club, but also the player, I should say, where the international ambition is concerned. Obviously, it's no rocket science. If you're playing regularly and performing well in the championship, it will only, I should think, it should help to support her continued development where the senior women's Reggae Girlz team is concerned. And again, we're now looking down the barrel of those subsequent FIFA Women's World Cup qualifiers there for Brazil 2027. Is it a bad move? I'll allow you guys to make your mind up in the comment section. If you're watching on replay, drop a comment in the comment section. Because of the caliber of the player and the profile that comes with it, similar to her countrymen and her countrymen, her compatriot, both where the Reggae Boys and Reggae Girls are concerned, from Malik, to the Chinaloo and Cameron. I think it's safe to say there that there is pressure there to perform even at her young age, as a notable new signing with a clear potential. There will definitely be some expectation there, perhaps instant expectation from the club and the fans to make an immediate impact and contribute to the goals and assists. And this can probably potentially be burdensome for a young player. Hopefully not, but if she does have the right people around her to give her the necessary support. And then again, similar to the rest of the other transfers there's that adaptation there to a new team. While she has the experience from previous clubs, integrating into a new squad, new team, new environment, new culture, it does obviously hold its own threats. So it might take some time there for her to understand new team tactics, building team chemistry, and forming a relationship with her teammates. Now, also, it does say here, let's just remind ourselves that the Blades move to Wear sides on a 1-year deal with the option of a further year. So obviously it's a short-term deal. It's a short-term deal with the option of a additional year. So while a deal like this, it is common in women's football. It's not uncommon to see short-term deals. I think it is common. While it is a particularly common in women's football, it basically means she'll need to impress quickly to secure her future beyond the initial season, or to potentially attract interest from elsewhere. So that is all we're looking there where Rihanna Blades is concerned. So best of luck to all of those players there on their journey, their quest, playing for new clubs, respective leagues, some homecomings, some new environments, potential familiar faces. Best of luck to all of those teams there, all of those clubs and their respective teams. Hopefully it all pays dividends for them. So that is pretty much all that I have to cover. It's been almost 2 hours. Let me know if you guys like the stream. Next up, Sports Talk. Don't think I've seen you on my channel before, but big up yourself. I hope you are well. I'm not familiar with your channel, so I don't even know what to plug you, or I don't even know what you do, but big up yourself. I hope you're well. So yeah, guys, throw some questions at me. I probably got maybe some 5 to 10 minutes with you guys. So if you got some questions, throw them at me, and I'll be closing off on the live stream soon. So do go ahead and throw some questions at me if you're in the mood to do so. I guess I could probably ask which deal there floats your boat. Which deal are you most excited for? Is there any deals that you're a little bit concerned about? Do let me know in the comment section. Thank you to the 55 of you that have hit the like button. And to those of you who have also hit the subscribe button, big up yourself. Let me know if you like the stream and whether you want me to come back and do streams of similar delivery, good moves or bad deals. Do let me know in the comment section. You guys are quiet. I'm not sure if you guys are saying that you want me to just close off on the stream. I will give you guys a couple more minutes, so do let me know in the comment section before I close off. Big up to you guys there who have hit the like button and have also participated in my question. Since I always appreciate being kept up to date on the moves and deals concerning the players, especially regarding the Reggae Girls. So I generally appreciate your content. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I appreciate you guys in the comment section. Those of you who are silently watching, definitely appreciate you as well. So yeah, I'm glad that you guys are appreciative of the content. No questions? You guys don't have no questions for me?
Could definitely spare some time with you guys. Can throw some questions my way. Go ahead and throw some questions my way. I'm working on something. I'm going to introduce something to my channel, right? So I'm going to be working on something. Maybe I'll have it in time for Monday. I think my next live stream should be Monday. No questions? You guys don't have no questions? I got about 7 more minutes. Throw some questions at me. Seems like you guys are in a quiet mood. Real quiet mood. Go ahead and throw some questions at me. I'm gonna try and be patient with you guys, but do throw some questions at me if you can, please. Have you been following? It seems like there are money. I have seen. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. Yes, I have seen. I mean, are we surprised? Are we surprised? Yeah, I've seen an article. I can't remember where I read it, if it was the Observer or somewhere else, Jamaica Observer, that is. But in relation to some money that was promised by the government, if memory serves me well. Seems like that money hasn't landed. No, I don't think any of us is surprised. It's typical, isn't it? So what are you saying, guys? Thumbs up to the content? Thumbs up? Yes? No? Let me know in the comment section if you're watching this one back on replay. So judging by the silence, I'm guessing I'm good to go then, right? Judging by your silence, I reckon I am good to go. No? Not in the mood to talk? All right, let me check a couple of things before I sign off. Let me try a couple of things though before I sign off. All right, so you guys are clearly not in the talking mood, so I'm going to have to love you and leave you. I just remembered I need to go and prepare my. Need to go and do some seasoning basically for tomorrow's dinner. I completely slipped my mind. It's now 1:30 in the morning. Thank God I remembered. So I need to get at it. If you are making your way home from work, to work, personal activities, whatever it might be, I do hope that you make it to your destination safely and unharmed. I also hope that you make it home safe and unharmed, because doing so is an underrated blessing. If you are new to my channel, I do hope that you've gone ahead and hit the subscribe button and also the like button. Tell a friend to subscribe to Talawa TV. I hope you've enjoyed my content just as much as I enjoyed delivering it to you guys. And so I am going to love you and leave you, because you guys are quiet. There's no point me staying here and looking at a screen. If you haven't hit the like button, please do go ahead and do so on your way out. Drop your comments in the comment section if you're watching it back on replay. Thank you so much for your continuous support. Your support does not go unnoticed. I am absolutely nothing without you guys, my viewers and subscribers. Thank you so much for your support. You know how it goes. Until next time, take care.
I'm John Barnes, and you're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.